the Bryan Brothers have announced that they are. I don't really know what they announced. They're playing pickleball, looking for an MLP
Is that
PPA
official? Because
deal.
last I heard,
it's not
was,
official.
Okay,
it's like they're trying to get they're trying to figure out the deal.
Yeah.
I just heard it in the Dink newsletter, so I'll just take that with a grain of salt next time.
Do you not remember me bringing it up on the last episode with Rachel?
No, I wasn't listening.
That's nothing new. But yeah, no, it's not official. They're just like they're trying to figure out like how they would make it happen. I think they're working primarily with Major League Pickleball. But the thing with that is like, the idea is they're going to play together. In Major League Pickleball, you can't exactly ensure that happens
that could
unless
be a problem.
like the GMs and the owners are like, yeah, we want them both. And you like come to an agreement that way. But then, especially in the early innings, that's going to be a massive risk. Like they gotta train a lot before they get to a point. But I think their goal is like, they're going to put in 100% effort. They're going to train day in, day out, and they want to get like a documentary crew to film them. Yeah,
really.
Yeah, and
because you see so many tennis players like clips of them playing or whatever. I don't know that I've ever seen a clip of them play pickleball.
Right?
Have you?
Yeah, I haven't. No.
So I kind of thought that they just weren't interested or whatever. But it'd be cool. It'd be great if they did.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll? I just have a super hard time believing that any of these guys is gonna grind. Like obviously they're so talented, but they've made so much money. They've played on such bigger stages. Like, what else is in it for them? I don't think they need the money. I don't think that they need the glory. Like,
no, the only thing I could think of is, I mean, they got to where they were probably because they're super competitive and they hate losing and, did what they had to do to become great players in tennis. So if that competitiveness carries over, like you don't just lose that, if they actually start playing and they're going out and like losing to more kind of long-term pickleball players or people who they maybe see as not as accomplished as themselves, that would piss them off.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
they'd probably like get fired up
For
about
sure.
it, and the competitive juices kick in, and they get better.
Right. Yeah, they're pure competitors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you betting on them being better than a Donald Young, like Sam Querrey?
Oh yeah, for
obviously.
Sure. I mean, the skill set is like their hands. I mean, they can like, in essence, like reset a tennis ball. Like a guy will hit like a 100-mile-an-hour forehand at him, and they could just like drop volley it over.
Right.
So those are skills that your Donald Young and Sam Querrey as singles players probably didn't possess. So I think.
I think
they'd be more on like a Jack Sock level.
Do you think their skill set's better or worse suited than Jack Sock? Like age, let's say they're the same age, right? And obviously they're a little bit older they're considerably older than Jack. Who do you think's game is better for pickleball? The Bryans or Jack?
I think we've talked about this before, but I think Jack has like the perfect game for pickleball because he played doubles. He is a sick volleyer. He's got great hands. He's super like one-step explosive, meaning he can cover a lot of ground in like one big movement. But more than anything, even as a tennis player, he was insanely wristy, and just like he made a tennis racket look like a pickleball paddle the way he could just like snap it around. So that kind of wristiness, if you can just kind of flick your shots like that, I think is what maybe the Bryan brothers will not have, a skill that they won't have that he does have.
He's probably the most successful doubles player to have come over and played pro pickleball, right?
Yeah, 100%.
When you look at the other players, part of what's missing is that like doubles game, the ability at the net. So in that sense, you would say, so maybe the Bryan brothers would be better suited because really the only glimpse of that we've seen is a Jack Sock, and he's obviously very good or has a huge upside. So it's Bryan brothers who are double specialists.
Martin was a top 30 doubles player, right?
I believe so.
He's made a pretty quick transition.
Yeah.
But you could also argue that Jack Sock could have been a better doubles player than Bob or Mike Bryan. his primary focus was singles. So like he played very little doubles events, but when he did, he always did quite well.
That's true.
Yeah. And he won one with one of the Bryan brothers.
He did. When one of them was injured, the other.
Yeah, he probably could have been a top 5 world ranked doubles player if he only played that and committed to that.
I personally, I think he would have been the best doubles player in the world if he had committed to it.
Yeah, I agree.
And found a partner that
that's
he could
the
really
thing.
play with.
Mm-hmm.
Like Bryan Bros, righty lefty, they're brothers. They have probably better chemistry than anybody ever in like any sport. And I don't know. I think they have a lot. Like if I'm the guy who's saying that, yeah, they could be the next Johns Bros, or they could face those are the reasons why I would put in favor of that argument, right? Like I think they have a lot going for them.
Mm-hmm. Did they play forehands in or forehands out? They played opposite, didn't they? Did they do something weird?
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember.
Gotcha.
I would assume they would in pickleball.
Yeah, they. I'm not convinced on that.
No,
I'm not convinced that forehands in at the pro level is the only go-to, because so many people struggle. Like think about Thomas Wilson on the right side. When his forehand is out wide, he can attack so well from out there, right? And if you have a righty on the left side, you're attacking with your backhand. And most people don't have great backhand attacks. They have good backhand out of the air.
Right.
But to have somebody who can take a lefty forehand off the bounce from out there. Also think about there are some people who have just really strong backhands. I don't want to speed it up through the middle to Annalise backhand, right? Like I'm not 100% convinced that 10 years from now there aren't some forehand out teams, like a lefty righty flipped.
Yeah, I could see. I mean, that's one of the most difficult positions to be in pickleball is if someone has a dead bounced ball to the outside, because they can go line, they can go across your body, and they have a lot of options. Like you said, you're kind of giving up I think it's harder to attack out of the air with your forehand.
Mm-hmm.
So to maybe reach in and take a ball out of the air that you could get if your backhand was on the outside, maybe you're giving up a little bit. So there's a trade-off, I think, depending on what your skill set is and what you're good at. So, but I would agree. I think you could, there's a case to be made for that.
Yeah. When Stefan ends up on the left side every now and then in playing against him, it's weird. Just having a lefty straight in front of you, like when they're on the left side, then you just hit to his backhand. He's in shambles. Love you, Stefan.
Well, do you think that so what is weird about it? The fact that he's getting a forehand on the outside that bothers you?
Yeah, it might just be different patterns, right? You just don't ever see it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, reining shit back in. Major League Pickleball, it is shuffle draft week.
Viore.com/thedink. 20% off your first purchase. Free shipping on orders $75 or over. Wow, I really had to rack the brain for that one, even though we've done this a million times. I've got this, I don't even know what model this is, but super soft, different color than I usually am, just wearing like black or navy, but I think it's a pretty cool color. You're just repping the V today. You're repping the V hard.
I'm sending it. You know what? I wore that same blue one basically every podcast we've done. So I was like, I'm going to change it up.
Yeah.
I can't really quite, the microphone was in the way. It's a big V that stands for Viore.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Viore.com/thedink.